everyone, and welcome back to our top 10 series where we give you super cool, awesome top 10 lists. I'm Court McGinley. Today we have a really fun list for you guys about the top 10 horrible Disney movie mistakes. As I'm sure by now you guys know I love Disney, and I'm sure many of you guys do as well. But while compiling this list, I realized that there are actually a lot of mistakes that go unrealized. We can't hold that against them though, because everyone makes mistakes. And these ones are pretty hard to spot. So today I'm going to show you guys some that have been uncovered. Coming at our number 10 spot, we have The Incredibles. This movie came out in 2004. It's set in the 1960s and it's about a married superhero couple who must live normal lives with their kids after all superpower activities have been banned by the government. But soon Mr. Incredible and his family are forced into action in order to save the world. Throughout this movie we see memorabilia of Mr. Incredible's accomplishments on his office wall. One newspaper clipping is titled Incredibles Rescue at Sea, which highlights one of his past adventures that apparently took place in the future. In this article, the date is shown as September 16th, 2002, which is roughly 40 years ahead of the movie's timeline. Uh-oh. And at number 9, Inside Out. This movie came out just last year in 2015. This movie takes place inside the mind of an 11-year-old girl named Riley Anderson, and throughout it we see her emotions in the form of characters who are trying to help her navigate her way through her difficult preteen years. The emotions are joy, fear, anger, sadness, and disgust. At the beginning of this movie, when Riley has just been born, we can see that her mother is clearly wearing glasses. But then we see Riley's mother from Riley's point of view, and she doesn't have any glasses on. And there's no way she could have removed them during the scenes without us seeing, because there was less than a second in between the two shots. At number 8, Finding Nemo. This movie came out in 2003 and it was a huge hit. Everyone loved it, so much so that one of the main characters, a blue tankfish named Dory, got her own movie. But even Finding Nemo editors missed some fine details. During one scene, Nigel the pelican is fighting the dentist in order to save Nemo. Behind them on the wall we see an alligator poster. There's a part just before the dentist forces Nigel out the window where all of a sudden the poster is inches to the right from where it used to be. Again, this is a minor detail in the grand scheme of things, but editors, you have to be careful of those tiny details. At number 7, Toy Story 2. This movie came out in 1999, and it was so popular along with the success of the first movie that they came out with a Toy Story 3 as well. And all of those did extremely well that they're even coming out with a Toy Story 4. Yes, that's right, this is going to be released in theaters in 2018 and it will be available in 3D. Yeah, beyond excited. But even these guys can make mistakes. So in the movie we see Ham and Rex flipping through the channels on a TV. Then they turn off the TV and there is no reflection of these two toys on the screen. So either Rex and Ham are supposed to be secret vampire toys, or the animators forgot to put the toys' reflections in the TV screen. I'm gonna go with secret vampire toys because, that's more fun. Coming in at number 6, The Little Mermaid. This movie came out in 1989. Definitely a beloved classic. Towards the end of this movie we see Ursula transform into a beautiful woman named Vanessa. The sea witch turned into a human so she could cast a spell over Prince Eric, so he would fall in love with her and marry her instead of marrying Ariel. Vanessa and Eric are on a ship about to get married, and Vanessa is in a room getting ready. She's singing and then goes to step up on the table, and all of a sudden this pink jar appears out of nowhere, and she steps on it, smashing it. I suppose that was there for dramatic effect. But then the shot pans back out and the jar remains are yet again non-existent. And at number 5, The Great Mouse Detective. This movie was probably before your guys' time as it came out in 1986. Heck, it even came out before I was born, but I did watch it as a child and I loved it. In this movie we have a famous mouse detective called Basil. And during one scene, Basil is fighting the evil Professor Ratigan, who kidnapped a young mouse named Olivia. The two are battling it out on some sort of flying contraption when all of a sudden they crash into Big Ben. They are then inside the clock fighting on top of the clock gears when all of a sudden Ratigan slaps Basil off the gears he's standing on. But somehow after the fall, Basil managed to land on the same gear he was originally standing on. Yeah. Don't see how that one works. Moving on to number 4, Mulan. This movie came out in 1998, and it is arguably one of the most popular Disney movie soundtracks after The Lion King and Frozen. In one scene we have Mulan, who has gone to see a matchmaker to make sure she possesses the proper etiquette to impress her future in-laws. During this session, Mulan's mischievous little cricket friend, Cricky, ends up in the matchmaker's cup of tea. Mulan tries to grab it from her before she takes a sip, but this causes the matchmaker to fall back onto embers and basically results in her butt catching on fire. Mulan then throws a pot of tea on her face, and somehow that puts out the fire that's on her butt. Yeah, there's no way that tea got anywhere near those flames. And at number 3, Monsters Inc. This movie came out in 2001, and in it we get to see the beloved characters Mike, Sully, and of course adorable Boo. In one scene we see Sully rush into the locker room to hide the toys from Boo's room in a locker, and we can see this locker is number 193. However, a second later when the camera angle is doing a full body shot, all of a sudden the locker number has changed to number 190. Even though in between these two shots, his hands didn't move from one locker to another. Coming in at number 2 spot, Aladdin. This movie came out in 1992. This is a story about a street urchin named Aladdin who gets into a lot of trouble with his monkey sidekick Abu. Along the way he meets Princess Jasmine and tries to win her heart. There are many hilarious characters that help round out this movie, one of them being Raja, Jasmine's pet tiger. In an early scene we see a suitor who has come to the palace for Jasmine's hand in marriage. But like any good pet, Raja is very protective. So after he realizes the suitor isn't worthy of Jasmine's hand, he tries to scare him away and he bites the seat of the suitor's trousers. And you see his pink polka dot hearted boxers. When we later see Raja in the courtyard, we see he has part of the same boxers in his mouth. However, in the previous scene the boxers were fully intact. So instead, Raja should have had a purple piece of cloth in his mouth. This is such an obvious mistake, but when you watch the movie you kinda don't notice it. And in our number 1 spot we have Frozen. This movie came out in 2013 and it's easily one of the most popular Disney movies. It's a story all about sisterly love, what's not to like. But even in such a popular movie, Disney is still going to make some mistakes. And here's one of them. When Anna and Hans share their first dance to Love is an Open Door, which is pretty catchy, they're gallivanting around the castle and the property and then somehow they end up on top of a lighthouse because why not? Now while this might add some romance, as it lights up the pair's silhouettes on the sail of a nearby ship. Something that the creators didn't add was the walkway they're standing on. So basically the pair are just dancing in midair. I mean, yes, it makes it more dreamlike and romantic, but come on guys, use some logic. Well, there is actually a talking snowman in this movie, so I guess logic isn't really a factor. Well, there you guys have it. That's our top 10 list of horrible Disney movie mistakes. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this video, feel free to give it a big thumbs up. Also, if you like, you can follow me on Instagram at Court McGinley, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.